What we have here are two of the top choices from Japan when it comes to the compact crossover segment, the gasoline-powered Honda CRV 2.0S and the Subaru Forester GT-Lite. In this video, we are going to pit these two vehicles in a classic Reygan's Rides mano-a-mano. Let's do this! Hello guys, I'm Reygan and welcome back to another Car Comparo. If you're new to my channel, I want you to click that subscribe button and become part of the Reygan's Rides family. If you're my subscriber already, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Oh yeah, and click that like button. Also special thanks to Motor Image Pilipinas and to Honda Cars Manila for lending us the two vehicles to do this comparo. The Honda CRV and the Subaru Forester has been two of the most popular go-to choices when it comes to Japanese compact crossovers because they offer the versatility of a mid-size SUV with the refinement of an executive sedan. Now, the Honda CRV has been a perennial bestseller in the local market, but the Subaru Forester is a close second. Now, the Mazda CX-5 and the Toyota RAV4 would have been good contenders as well in this comparo, but let's start off with these two first, shall we? Now, we are going to subject these two vehicles to my point system according to the following categories: price, exterior looks, interior quality of materials, tech, space, and the drive. So, without further ado, let's begin.
Turn up. Let's go.
The gasoline-powered Honda CRV 2.0S has an attractive retail price of 1,678,000 Philippine pesos, while the Subaru Forester GT-Lite comes in at a pricier 1,938,000 Philippine pesos. Now that's over ~250,000 pesos more expensive than the CRV, but that's with the GT body kit. If you don't like that body kit, you could always take it out in your options, and that should save you 40 grand, which means that the Subaru Forester is still 200,000 pesos more expensive than its rival. Still, well, the Forester has all-wheel drive and a lot more kit, but since this is the price category, well, the Honda CRV takes 5 points, while the Forester only takes 3 points.
Turn up. Let's go.
The Forester GT-Lite gets the same body kit as the top-spec Forester GT, but only has to make do with smaller 17-inch wheels. Now, given the already boxy design of the Forester, plus the added boxiness that body kit gives, well, those wheels look a little bit too tiny. Now, the Forester's design also looks and feels a bit dated already, especially since most car makers have moved on towards sleeker and more organic designs. As such, the Subaru Forester only gets 4 points in the looks category. The Honda CRV has aged gracefully despite being a late model. Even in this base CRV, we get larger 18-inch alloys and those fancy LED headlights that can be found across the range. It's a careful balance of ruggedness and grace with a design that clearly knows its place as a city crossover. So because of that overall more cohesive look, well, the Honda CRV takes 5 points in the looks category.
Turn up. Let's go.
The base model Honda CRV still gets black leather seats here, but it will have to make do with manual seat adjustments for the driver and the passenger. Now we also get a leather-wrapped steering wheel here and an actual gear shifter versus the buttons found in the higher trim CRVs. The materials used for your dashboard and the door cards are also soft touch materials, but the quality of these materials are a little bit lower than that of the Subaru Forester. The fit and finish is above average as expected from any Honda, but since the materials used in the cabin are a little bit, well, lower than that of the Subaru Forester, well, the CRV just gets 4 points in the cabin materials category. The Subaru Forester may be more expensive by 200 grand, but man, you can immediately see the price difference right here inside the cabin. We also get black leather seats here, but the quality of the leather used is a bit better than the ones found in the Honda CRV. Both the driver and the passenger also gets power adjustments, so you also have that. Now we also have a leather wrap steering wheel here, and even the materials used for the dashboard and the door cards are all soft touch materials. In fact, they're leather. Now we also have a leather wrapping on the sides of your center tunnel here, something that we didn't see in the Honda CRV. Now, what got to me here, guys, is the types of materials that they use on the dashboard, the door cards, and the sides of the center tunnel. You see, they use different kinds of textures for the leather that they use here. So that gives this cabin of the Forester more upscale feeling inside. Now, of course, the fit and finish is also outstanding, and as such, the Subaru Forester gets 5 points in the cabin materials category.
Turn it up. Let's go.
The Honda CRV has a good amount of tech and safety inside, but only if we get the top spec CRV SX all-wheel drive in this comparo. However, what we have here is the base model gasoline CRV, so it barely has enough tech amenities to keep it in the fight. Now, this gasoline CRV gets a 7-inch touchscreen infotainment system that thankfully has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, but it only makes do with a reverse camera. Now, this gasoline CRV also only has Honda's passive safety system, which means that you only get airbags, ABS, and stability control. Now, Honda threw in a driver attention alert in this variant as well, but it's only enough to give the Honda CRV 4 points in the tech and safety category. The higher price of the Subaru Forester can be further justified by the amount of tech and safety bits that you are getting in this car. We get a larger 8-inch touchscreen infotainment system here, which has Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and a 360-degree view camera. Now, we also get Subaru's EyeSight safety technology here, which includes adaptive cruise control, pre-collision braking, and lane keep assist. Now, the CRV also gets that in the top spec CRV with Honda Sensing, but we're already getting that here in this base model Subaru Forester. As such, well, the Forester GT-Lite gets 5 points in the tech and safety category.
Turn it up. Let's go.
The Forester takes advantage of its boxy shape by giving the rear passengers a ton of headroom and knee room. This back seat can easily accommodate people who are 6 feet and above, well, pretty similar to the Honda CRV. However, the space here looks a tad bit larger, mainly because of the large squared-off windows that we have here. Now, the Subaru Forester also gets a couple of rear AC vents and a couple of USB charging ports, similar to the CRV. The Forester also gets a power liftgate, something that the Honda CRV cannot match up to. Now, once that power liftgate is open, you get 509 liters of trunk capacity here, which is a little bit smaller than the Honda CRV. However, the Forester makes up for it with that power liftgate and the one-touch buttons on the sides to fold your back seats. So, despite having, well, a little bit smaller trunk space than the CRV rival, well, I'm more inclined to give the Forester 5 points in the space category, mainly because of those convenience features. The Honda CRV is a space king in the compact crossover segment, and in this 5-seater gasoline variant, well, that space capacity is maximized even more. This is really roomy and spacious. In fact, it is as big as the backseat of the Forester. However, we only get a smaller windows here versus its rival, which is one of the compromises that you have to make because of its sleeker body design. Now, the CRV also gets a couple of rear AC vents here and a couple of charge ports to keep you juiced up. The trunk of the Honda CRV is also one of the larger trunks in the compact crossover segment. We get 522 liters of cargo capacity here, which is bigger than the ones found in the Subaru Forester. However, we only get a manual liftgate here, but still, because of the larger space that this Honda CRV has, it deserves to get 5 points in the space category.
Turn up. Let's go.
I am a fan of all-wheel drive vehicles, and as such, this Forester immediately gets an edge in the driving segment. However, what I'm not a fan of is that anemic feeling in its acceleration. This thing just feels so heavy, and it feels like it's reluctant to give me the juice. Even when I toggle it into sport mode, well, that heavy feeling doesn't really go away totally. Now, the CVT of the Forester is a tad bit quicker than that of the CRV, and the paddle shifters are also more responsive. However, when it comes to its fuel economy, well, that's where things start to turn around. The Forester's fuel economy is a bit dismal compared to the CRV because I can only do as much as 9.5 kilometers in the city, well, kilometers per liter in the city, and 14 kilometers per liter in the highway. So because of that slightly poorer fuel economy figures of the Forester, it only gets 4 points in the driving category. The CRV has the same engine displacement as the Subaru Forester because both cars are equipped with a 2-liter 4-cylinder naturally aspirated gasoline engine. Now, both of these cars have nearly identical power figures, and they even come with the same transmission type since both of them are equipped with CVTs. However, the CRV feels a lot lighter to drive, and the response and handling also feels quicker and more nimble. Now, that's probably because the CRV is a front-wheel drive vehicle versus the all-wheel drive format of the Forester. Now, the fuel economy figures is where the CRV starts to pull away because I could still get 12 kilometers per liter in light city driving in this thing and as much as 19.5 kilometers per liter on the highway. Now, because of that stellar fuel economy figures of the CRV, it gets 5 points in the drive category.
Turn up. Let's go.
In the end, the Honda CRV managed to inch ahead of the Subaru Forester owing mostly to its more affordable pricing and slightly better fuel economy. It is the more practical choice for budget-conscious people and especially if you still want to get a decent level of kit in your car. Well, as long as the weather remains fair. But when the rains come and the storms roll in, well, the Forester with its higher ground clearance, all-wheel drive system, and better safety features will come out as the better choice. Factor in the more tech and convenience inside, plus that class-leading EyeSight safety system, and you've got a compact SUV for the driver who does not want any compromise. And since I prefer cars with an all-wheel drive or rear-wheel drive layout, and I don't really give a damn about fuel economy anyway, well, you guys already have an idea which of these two cars I'd personally go for. Thanks for watching.